Today we're going to solve doing a rider update. This is an update to your database that you have locally on your computer, and that is your database that you're using for race registration. This is the method that we distribute for tracks to receive an update every week from us, and that ensures that all the applications that are coming into our office from all the tracks around the country end up in your database. It's really the best method to do it. You get the entire country every time. That's pretty standard now. We've gone away from asking for certain zones for an update, and in this way we can apply an update every week to the database and you guys can gather it. So in doing that, you start on the track operator dashboard, and then you move into Race Manager once you have the files you need. The updates include any changes, whether it's expiration dates, new members, proficiency changes. You get around to state finals and Gold Cup time, and there could be plate number changes. Everything's involved in that rider update, including any track changes. If the track changes name, if we've got new tracks coming on board, all of those are also included in the rider update or member update. So we'll start this process by jumping into the track operator dashboard, and you've all seen the Race Manager menu if you're watching these videos. So in the Race Manager menu, you'll see the Member Update tab. When you're in Member Updates, as soon as you get there, you will see that it has a file name. It's always sequentially numbered. So at the start of the year, this year, we were at update number 1, and as you can see by the last 2 digits in this number, we're at update 22 in late May. And so last week, if you'd have came to this website, 21 would have been posted. This week's 22, and next week will be 23. So the first thing you want to do, I'm doing a right click on this to get the save link as. Obviously the directions above don't specify that. It's just some little extra recommendation because this allows you to save its location. So you'll click. The desktop is the best place because it's the easiest to find and easiest to delete after it's done. So you don't pile up rider updates and tons of size on the computer week after week. So as you do that, you'll see it gives you the file name, and there's a reason why I've got 2 names there, but it'll save, and then you just click save. And when you click save, it initiates the download. Now, right now, for time purposes, I'm going to cancel that download, and you'll also notice that it's jumping around from, a couple minutes to a couple hours. But generally, it's a large file. It could take you 2 or 3 minutes to 5 to 10 minutes, depending on your internet connection speed. But once it's downloaded, then you're going to go over to Race Manager, and you can go ahead and open Race Manager. You may have already had it open intending you were going to do the rider update, but the next thing you're going to need to do is unzip that file. This is where a lot of people's mistakes are made, and if you want to, back on the web page, you've got a way to kind of print these 4 or 5 steps that you need to do it. And you'll notice we've just done a portion of step 1. I like to say it's 5 steps. We've got it listed as 4, but really downloading is a step, and then extracting is your next step. But it's kind of all in one as step 1. So it's telling you that we'll get the update zip file, and we need to extract it. So if you go onto your desktop through your File Explorer, or you can simply just go straight down to your desktop. Either way, whether you want to use your File Explorer or you just want to jump right onto the desktop, you'll locate and find that file called Rider Update. It'll have the number associated with it that you previously referenced, and that'll also assure that you're doing the right rider update. So when you do the rider update, we're doing 22 this week. I right-clicked again. That's a right-click on the mouse to get the extract all. You extract it. You don't need to change anything here. If you choose extract, it's going to go through the extraction process, and at the end of this, it will basically show you the file that has been zipped inside this folder, and that is the rider update. So we'll go through it, and it basically shows you right there, rider update, and it has the BMU. The file extension is BMU. That's the BMX member update file. And that's what you're going to use every week. So at that point, you've done your work in Windows. Now you're going to go into Race Manager. And you don't need to open any events. In fact, it makes you close an event if you have an open event. And you're going to choose File, Database, and a Rider Update. It's going to ask you for the file path. This is where you need to really be aware of where you're doing your work when you're downloading and unzipping things, which, as I said before, desktop is easiest. That's where you know it is. And then you'll see that there's a folder with the same number as the file name that we had. You go into that and you choose Rider Update, and then you'll see that BMX member update file inside there. It'll always say Race, which is your database that you're updating, MFU, the member file update, and then the long string of numbers, which is the database version that your database ends up as. So if you notice, while we have these windows open, down below here you've got your program version and your database version. You'll see we're at 10.15 for a database version, and as you can see, this member update is going to bring our database to 10.22. That's our standard naming as you go through things. So again, I talked about this previously in another video, but if you see this number being very low compared to what you're seeing posted on the website, it's time to do a Rider update. In this case, we're only 7 weeks behind on Rider updates, so we're going to go ahead and apply one. You just choose that file. You want to choose that .bmu, BMX member update file. Click Open, and then your next step is just to go ahead and click Update. At that point, it's going to do a backup of your database. It'll do a complete backup. This will ensure that you're not losing any information, or if something goes wrong during the update process, that you've got a backup that we can get on there and get restored for you. As it applies the database, you're seeing now it is applying the database update, and as it's doing that, you probably will notice the speed of your computer. It's not great, and it is taking a lot of resources. My computer tends to take maybe a couple minutes to do this, so hopefully we'll keep this video short and it will apply this update fairly quickly. If you've got a slower or older computer, don't be alarmed if that green bar that you're seeing move on the screen is taking even upward of 10 minutes to do. I know last year we had some very slow computers out at tracks, and they were applying database updates just fine. It's just, it takes a little extra time, so you just got to kind of make sure the computer's got enough battery, make sure you've got enough battery in yourself to sit around and wait for that thing. But it'll do it, and you'll get a successful message after. And don't try to cancel it during an update or turn off the computer, because that could start corrupting databases and things. So let it do its thing. It should complete successfully. If it doesn't complete successfully, you'll get that message, and it also, like I said, will protect the database and kind of revert back to what it was on. But if you do a lot of canceling or closing or trying to X out of it because you think it's not doing what it's supposed to, you could corrupt things. So it's made to work obviously correctly, but it's also got a kind of protection in there if it happens to fail on its own. But if you do any canceling, you're risking some database. But we'll let this thing finish. It looks like it's almost done. And again, at the bottom of the screen is where you're going to see a change as this reopens. It won't say 15 anymore as that last number. If we complete successfully here, you should see a 22. And then that means your database is update through May 26, which is when we're applying this update. I just got a message there on the screen. Database has been updated. Race Manager will now restart. So at that point, it does exactly that. You don't need to do anything except click OK, and you'll see Race Manager's reopening. Still the same program version, but as this finishes opening, you'll see down at the bottom of the screen there in the database version, as we get there, that we're on database version 3.0.10.22, which means we've successfully done a Rider update. So that is how to do Rider updates, and we will go over some other steps as far as your database and converting it and protecting it in a couple different videos. So keep watching.